game number 1. Is everything? Yeah, there we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Terran, it is innovation. Oh, my mouse wheel isn't working. One moment there, guys. I thought I did. Ah, I did it the wrong way. Here we are. Spawning in the top right-hand corner, the red Terran, it is Dream. Now, there was definitely a reason why I chose this map as our first one. And it's just nice to kind of start a series off of. You kind of want to get a feel where the players are at. And Gigantha, of course, being the biggest map in the map pool, it kind of forces them to play a little bit more standard. Hello, Alex. Hi, who do we think will win? No, to be fair, I've been kind of filling in for as caster for the last kind of week or two. This is probably the closest that the players have been in terms of skill level that I've casted in a long time. I genuinely am not sure. I personally am leaning towards Dream. But, I mean, Innovation's in great shape at the moment. So, I think if you're being a bit more logical, you'd probably say Innovation. Not logical, maybe due to current events, you'd probably say Innovation. But, I don't know. I think Dream, the way that he plays, I kind of want to favor him against Innovation. But I guess we'll have to find out. I think the bigger map favors Innovation. Well, and at least his style of being super consistent, having the best macro, like, that definitely favors him. Dream, of course, more known for his timing attacks, his army positioning. Yeah, I think on the bigger the map, the more difficult that becomes. Now, Innovation kind of hit the command center. I just want to see. It was scouted. Okay. Just want to quickly check if that was. Nice impartial answer. Let's enjoy the game. Yes, we shall. We shall. Oh, okay. Sizeman is Rick and Zeno. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I genuinely don't know. To be fair, I'm a lower level Terran player myself. So my TVT knowledge isn't as good as, say, my Zerg knowledge. I know the matchup well enough to get a good feel. Yeah, I've been enjoying playing Terran lately. Not at a super high level, but at a level where it's fun. You kind of get it. I think the one thing I notice about kind of learning another race is you kind of get the nostalgia of playing. Oh, hold on, guys. Sorry. We got the 2 Reapers in here. They actually killed the Reaper of Innovation, which is actually really, really bad. The Marines do not do a good job of fighting Reapers, and the SCVs. I mean, 4 SCVs going down, Marine going down, Reaper going down. Hellion will clean this up, but that's already a really good start for Dream here. Let's see. In terms of resources lost, yeah. No, I think if you're a Dream, you love this opening. And the other thing to note here is, let's see, I don't think Innovation has scouted anything. So not only is Dream getting damage done, he's doing eco damage, he's also getting a full scout of what Innovation is doing. So it's like a double positive for him. Oh, this is a best of 7. Thanks for reminding me. Nice long series. I think I have a feeling. I mean, I guess it does depend on how this first game goes, but I have a feeling that this will go the distance. That we're probably looking at whoever wins. It's going to be like 4-2 or 4-3. Like it's going to be close. But we've got a drop coming in here. Is this Marauders? Yeah, Marauders with concussive shell. And what is that? 5-6 Hellions. Cool. Okay, there is a tank in the front. So Innovation may try to ferry this. Dream does have vision, so he will see this coming. Oh, there's nothing protecting the tank, actually. Yeah. Okay, he's just going to drop it on the tank. It unsieges. SCVs do try to repair this, but huge Hellion shots. Oh my god. There's not much here for Dream at all. Auto turret goes down, but the Hellions are just going to run past this. Another massive volley. 13 SUVs. This might just be too much damage. There are Marines. It will get cleaned up. 17 workers. Marauders are still alive. Still doing damage. That SCV kill count is still rising. Oh man, Dream was definitely caught off guard by this. I think when you see the barracks of the tech lab, you kind of assume that it's going to be Stim. So the Marauders probably kind of caught him off guard. And you could see that Dream was expecting a drop, so he had the Marines in the main base. He had nothing to kind of protect the tank. So, yeah, no, this, wow, okay. I think, yeah, maybe this is what I suspected about Innovation, maybe just being a bit more informed than Dream. Oh man, still getting damage done. What are we at? 22 workers to 40? That's nearly double the eco for Innovation here. And of course this gets traded out, but the damage is dealt. There's already a third base on the way here for Innovation, so he's got 2 tanks on the defense, 2 Ravens, Marines. I mean, I think Dream has to pull his workers. I don't see how he can't stabilize. He's far too behind in economy. I think you have to pull the boys. Very technical term for going all in. What are the upgrades? No upgrades for Dream, no stim, no nothing. He's not even researching it. Yeah, what, 2 tanks in the front? There's no minivacs with this either, so you can't hit a different angle. I think, yeah, I think Dream's gonna see this, GG, yeah, he's gonna see that. That was a cool build. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I want to steal this build. Yeah, that's a fair call. That was very effective. Holy. Yeah, definitely caught off guard by that. So it is going to be Dream's map pick. All right, he's going to pick Oxide. Cool. Let's get that all set up. Free MMR incoming. Yeah. I mean, like, the Hellions are good in the early game. Like, having the concussive shell is just a great, like, a great upgrade to have in general. Like, usually if you're playing bio, you want a couple of Marauders anyway. They just help soak those tank shots. Yeah, that was a really, really cool build. I look different? Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Try and dyeing my hair. Alright. Jumping on into game number 2. In this best of 7, of course. The blue Terran in the bottom left-hand corner, it is Innovation. And his opponent in the top right, the red Terran, it is Dream. Yep, I expected to see this out of Dream. Smaller map. Not the I think Submarine's smaller, but it is a small map. Small medium, I guess. Nasty Joker asks, "Where are you from?" Oh, I'm from New Zealand. The Canada of Australia, where every citizen must have a pet sheep. It's actually the rule. And how thick your Kiwi accent is determined by how many sheep you have. Alright, so we've got a proxy. This is cool. So, I mean, what Dream kind of showed in game number 1, when he showed up with the Reapers, like, that was a good start for him, because he killed the Reaper of Innovation. Innovation was not expecting 2 Reapers versus 1. And then he's able to get some work damage, he's able to get a scout. Now, by hiding the second barracks here, this may very well catch Innovation off guard. And this isn't super committed. He does need to get some damage done, but it's not all in. Like, he can pressure and then expand into an ordinary game from here. Ooh, Innovation with a fast command center here. I think he did that in game 1 as well. So, Dream... I suspect that these players probably face each other a lot on the ladder or in tournaments. So, Dream probably knows at the moment that Innovation is favoring the fast command center, which is probably why he's actually opening with this 2 racks. But there will be an expand behind this as Dream, of course. He's not going all in. Ooh! Okay, I was about to say. Reaper and... Not scouting this. Looks like Innovation is aware the possibility of this 2-Rex opening. And I like this as well. You bring the SUV to help soak damage and force the micro out of Innovation. So far, this has not been scouted. It's going to come in now. Good lift there by Innovation. Does not want to let that SUV in. But yeah, that one Reaper cannot fight this. So there's a window of time here for Dream where he can get damage done before that Hellion comes out. When that Hellion comes out, this will transition into an ordinary game. Looks like a 3rd Reaper is on the way. This is from the Proxy Rex. Oh, he's going up to 4 actually. Sorry. Alright, Hellion's out. 4 Reapers, I believe, can beat a Hellion. I'm not sure what the math is like for the Hellion and the Reaper and the Marines. SUV's making a bunker here. That's not gonna finish. But of course, that would have delayed the expansion timing here for Innovation. It's worth trying. I mean, he loses the worker that he was probably going to throw away anyway. Grenade does pick off the Reaper and 2 Marines, but this will trade out. So map presence will go back to Innovation. The Hellions here will we'll clean up any Reapers that try to come out. In fact, these Marines are now going to kind of waddle home, which will be a dangerous waddle. Don't think, yeah, Innovation has not scouted this. Munger's a little bit late, actually. There's only Marines. Now, of course, Dream can focus down the low health Hellion. He misses that. Oh, that Marine is dead. Looks like Innovation. Did he see it? No, he didn't see it. Okay. It's one of those things where just because they have vision doesn't necessarily mean that they, of course, saw that. Their screen could have been somewhere else. Well, not looking at the minimap, for example. Cyclone for the defense here for Dream, going into Starport. So the tech is definitely delayed for Dream. And there's already a tank out for Innovation. He might wait till he's 2 tanks. I think overall, this was a better opening for Innovation. I don't think Dream quite found the damage that he was looking for. Interesting that Innovation's sending all his units across the map. I think he knows that Dream is unable to pressure for a period of time. So Innovation knows he doesn't actually need to have units at home. Oh, okay, so he's going to drop a tank here, siege it up, and then he's probably going to ferry units in the main base. There's already Cyclone and Marines in position. Let's see, does Dream, he only sees it now. Alright, let's see what his reaction is like. Cyclone will lock onto the minivac, which of course will deny the ferrying of Innovation, but Innovation actually pops out of Fog of War, so the Cyclone loses its lock-on, but the Viking will shoot this away. Only really killing an add-on. But, I mean, the thing is, like, that was very low commitment for Innovation. All of these units are good. He's already macroing well at home. This Cyclone's kind of scary for the tank, though. And there's a Viking for high ground vision. Yeah, it might actually get the tank. The Marine's going to have to turn around to deny this. And, yeah, that's an excellent pick-off. Because what are we at now? 1 tank? 1 tank for both players? Yep. The beauty of a Cyclone, it just has so much power in the early game. It has this huge power spike. Oh, big tank shot there. Yep, we'll get out of town. And Viking goes down as well. Good micro. Very good micro there by Innovation. Now, there is a tank spot that Dream could set up, which would be in range. I think it's in range of the Skyzo. But losing the Viking means he has no vision for that, so he just goes home. Alright, both players are going to macro up. Is there a 3rd base? There should be, right? Yeah, there is a 3rd base on the way here for Innovation. Very similar timing. Looks like the Cyclone does go down. Cyclone there just giving map vision for Dream. Could potentially pick off a unit if he's looking, but that's just more a warning than anything else. Looks like, is this a oh, Medivac. Okay, Medivac going into the main. And a tank push here at the 3rd. But Innovation not looking. All those Marines just decimated. Let's see what happens here in the main. There is a tank about to pop up, so that could just siege behind the command center, but this will still find a lot of damage. Actually, is Stim done? Oh, Dream has Stim. Okay. He could actually chase this down. Oh my god, and tank. Oh, Innovation. He's been a bit sloppy with his rallies here. Looks like the drop is picked off. Sorry for my observing here, guys. A little bit all over the place with Terran plus Terran observing. As I said, it's not a matchup I'm as familiar with. Alright, looks like... Yeah, it means 2 tanks to 1 tank here. The auto turrets... Oh, okay, the auto turrets will pick off the tanks. Will it get both? No, just get one of them. Oh, picks off the Raven, does Dream with his Vikings. But 2 full health Vikings should win the air battle. Does decide to lower it. Funny how the missiles actually try to go down. A little funny animation there. But now with the Marines, that air battle should go back to Dream again. But remember, the rallies are closer for innovation, so he should slowly push this back. I don't think there's quite enough to push that far. Though the third base, funnily enough, is completely exposed. I don't think Dream knows about that. If he did, these Vikings could have just gone in the main. Now, do remember the Vikings do have bonus damage versus armor, so they're really good against SCVs, tanks here. Oh man, so many workers going down here for innovation. This might just be too much damage. Remember, Dream does have 3 base economy behind this. This might just be a matter of Dream just rallying across the map and innovation just slowly running out of steam. The SCVs have been now spotted here. That should tip Dream off that there's a third base that's exposed. Good pick off there by Dream. Man, innovation is in a lot of trouble. Is this? Ah, yeah. Okay. Wow, Dream's going to drop a 4th base. That's... I want to say greedy. I remember really, really early on in Wings of Liberty StarCraft 2, there was a forum post that was... I think it was more directed at Zerg, but I think it's just a general concept that's interesting to think about when you're learning, is you generally only want to be about a base or half a base ahead of your opponent. And what I mean by that is, like, a base is like 16 workers on the mineral patch. So you only want to be about 8 workers ahead of your opponent. If you're more than that, then you've invested too much into economy and your opponent could go for a timing. If you're less than that, then obviously you are behind on eco. Alright, good cleanup here by Innovation. He needs to make more moves like this. Actually, Innovation has the army supply lead. This is relevant. I don't think Innovation's not making any more workers. He's just going to commit entirely to army. He knows he can't catch up in economy. Let's see, how many tanks? 3 to 3? Okay. Will be a third one popping here for Innovation joining the fight very shortly. There it is. There are Vikings for Dream, so Dream will have the air vision as well as being able to push back medivacs. Oh, Dream's coming forward. Forces a siege up by Innovation. This is good. I mean, even just that, where Innovation is forced to siege and kind of back off a little bit, like, this is buying Dream time. And the longer this goes on, I mean, if you look at the income right now, Dream has a huge advantage. He's producing twice the amount of Marines, he's producing twice the amount of tanks, he's got 2-2 on the way. So, yeah, Innovation needs to make his move, and needs to make it now. Looks like he's just trading out. He's not able to get an advantage here. The tanks and Dream just in the perfect position. Oh, big stim here. The tanks are in the back. Looks like Dream's going to try to focus those down. One tank goes down. Looks like he's going to stim forward. Maybe try to pick up the second one. Good pick up there by Dream. That was actually good for Innovation. Was it 1-1? 1-1? Yeah, when that 2-2 kicks in, that's it. Innovation has no more... there's no way he can break Dream without Dream making a big mistake. So there's a window of time here. It's about 30 seconds to a minute. Alright, Innovation trying to break the rocks, give himself more avenues of attack. And he wants to constantly force Dream to siege, unsiege, siege, unsiege. He wants to constantly force these maneuvers. Oh, Dream going to attack before 2-2 is done. This is quite a bold move. Maybe he thinks that okay, his tanks were sieged and Innovation's weren't. So GG will be called there by Innovation. Excellent game 2. This is what I mean. Both of these players are so evenly matched. I really don't know who you call. I expect Innovation to kind of pick a bigger map. That again plays to his strengths. Maybe Death Aura? Sub. Oh wow, okay, never mind. He's got to pick the smallest map in the map pool. I think Innovation probably has 2 strategies here that make sense to me at least. Well, I've probably got a dozen strategies. But there are 2 modes of thinking that makes sense to me here is either Innovation goes for a proxy all-in cheese himself, or he expects Dream to do something hyper-aggressive, and Innovation has just practiced the defense and the scouting to that. That's the thing that kind of makes the most sense to me. I mean, obviously, Innovation knows. I'm pretty sure almost all the builds in the book. Does come down to what he's been practicing recently, though. Alright. Jumping into game number 3, spawning in the top left-hand corner, the blue Terran, it is Innovation. And his opponent in the bottom right, it is the red Terran, Dream. The reason I was kind of pointing that out with Innovation was this is his map pick. So usually if you're picking a map, there's a particular strategy that you want to go for. Now, of course, both of these players will have a myriad of different strategies that they'll have up their sleeve, and it's about kind of just what feels right during the series, as well as, you know, what's good against their opponent. No proxies by either player. I think maybe that might be a bit too obvious for both players to proxy. Or, actually, to be fair, the map is so small, it's probably redundant. Red Terran, blue Terran. How many Terrans are there? Force of habit, guys. Yeah, who's going to be aggressive? I mean, they could both be aggressive. So Innovation's going to go for the SUV Scout. This was kind of like one of the two things I was talking about. Either Innovation's going to be very aggressive on this map, or he's just going to scout and try to have the best response to Dream. Dream, I think, naturally in his style is more aggressive, and Innovation is usually more passive. Obviously, both players can play both extremes, but I think that's the strengths of these two players. Oh, will the depot raise? It will, just in time there. Now, of course, this SUV Scout isn't free. You are losing a lot of mining time. So if we look at the income here, there's a lot more income for Dream. And that's because, yeah, he's got an extra worker now. So he's put more on gas than on minerals. Cool, Reaper coming across the map. I have the suspicion that, I don't know if this is true or not, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I have a suspicion that Dream has the better micro, that he's got the better unit control out of these two players. Innovation strikes me as someone who has good unit control, but it's definitely not a highlight of his play. He's definitely someone who's more about positioning and production, about having the most amount of production. Yes, this is just the only series today. There aren't any other matches. So it's a full best of 7, so get comfy. Oh, Dream going for the Reaper kill. Good pullback there by Innovation. Innovation going to win this exchange. Of course, the Reapers do heal. So this is, yeah, a really good start. How many Reapers? Alright. So just a 1 Reaper lead here for Innovation. Of course, that's just from Dream losing one. Oh, okay. Looks like Innovation going to come out ahead again, but that was pretty close. Really good control by both players. Looks like the Italian wants to get a scout. Good depot raise there. Maybe he could have tried to go for the worker, but does get cleaned up. I guess a scout's more important than slowing down the command center by a few seconds. I usually expect TVTs to take longer, so it's AKA red. Yep, that's definitely the case. I think that's why people kind of compare TVT to chess more than the other matchups. Is it's so much more about like basic strategy and positioning than the other matchups. And that just naturally kind of lends itself to longer drawn out games. Good scout there by Dream. Interesting choice that Innovation lets him in. I guess the Cyclone kind of mucked that up a bit. But Dream does not see the fast third. Yeah, looks like Dream's going to go for a timing. And this definitely does play into what the players, like their strengths, you know. Innovation more passive, more macro focused. Of course, he's going to want to get the faster third base. And Dream is just in his comfort zone by putting on pressure. Now, it looks like he's going to put a tank here, maybe on the low ground? No, he's going to go straight in. Okay. Tank for Innovation is out, but there's not much supporting this. Just a Cyclone for now. Looks like Dream does see the tank in the back. Marines do go down. There is a Raven, could use the auto turret, but Dream, of course, identifies that he needs to back off. Yeah, so Dream adding on more production buildings versus Innovation investing into more economy. So, yeah, I think Dream might just go for a 2-base all-in, which makes the most sense on a smaller map. Okay, Red saying, I think tanks create a lot of positioning. Yeah, absolutely. And it's the nature of Terran. I mean, the basic philosophy of their units is that they are high damage, low health. And so that just means in general you need to be a lot more cautious than say like Zerg, where it's like, well, I could lose a bunch of lings, but there'll be more made behind that, whereas Terran is like, well, losing a pack of Marines is very costly and could very well lose me the game. But at the same time, a pack of Marines in the right place could very well win the game. So it's kind of like this, it's a double-edged sword for Terran. They either win harder or lose hard. So alright, big scan here from Innovation. We'll see that there's more and more production being added. So definitely the initiative is going to be on Dream. I mean, the supplies are very, very similar at the moment, but now that the production is up and running for Dream, we're going to start seeing his army supply kind of get a big lead. Now, a lot of this, of course, can be negated by tank positioning, Vikings like protecting from drops. Oh, okay. Wow, Innovation's actually being the aggressor here. Big auto turret's being dropped down with a lot of energy on those Ravens. And that will actually break through the tanks of Dream. That was his entire army. He's got only a tank back here and a few Marines. Now let's see, how many Vikings is it? 3 to 3, okay, but there's more health on Innovation's Vikings than there are on Dream's. I mean, that's really, really bad here for Dream. His third base is only halfway done, whereas Innovation is like fully saturated. The one advantage that Dream had was his military production, and he's just lost most of that lead. You don't want to be even on military if you've invested into more military production. So I think this is kind of tricky. Dream needs to make something happen, and Innovation knows that. He just kind of reset the army supply for Dream, and now he's just going to sit back and defend with tanks. I'm not really sure what Dream could do here. He does have a few medevacs, so I suppose he could go for a drop, could siege here on the low ground and ferry units on the top. That could potentially get some damage done. Yep. So he's going to siege here. Now, of course, these tanks by themselves don't actually threaten a position. They just allow the Marines to be aggressive. It's a very interesting conversation going on in the chat. Sorry, it's definitely worth a read for those of you who can read and watch at the same time. Discussion about the speed of StarCraft 2 versus StarCraft 1 and mech, which is all very interesting. I don't, as I said, it's there's a lot going on in TVT. It's kind of difficult to either you follow it very closely and you know when mech is good and when mech isn't. But I think it appears to me that bio seems to be the strongest way to play in TVT at the moment. Is the caster from Oz? Very close. I'm from New Zealand. Very similar accents, I think. I think Australian accents are a little bit more, in general, just a little bit more nasally, whereas in general, New Zealand accents seem to be kind of more a deeper accent, more on the throat. Still nasally, but slightly different. They are very close. Alright, Dream's trying to see if he can get anything done. Interesting Cyclone location. That's actually there to stop drops. Say fish and chips, bro. As an Australian, I'm very offended. Sorry, mate. Oh, yeah, see? That cyclone there. Oh, God, it might actually get the medevac. Ooh. How many hit points was that? 10. That was one more shot. And that was 4 Marines and a medevac gone. But here's the thing. I mean, the early expand from Innovation was not punished. And it's just a matter now. Innovation has 30 more army supply. I mean, just 30 more troops on the field is a huge advantage. I think even the upgrades, yeah, they're ahead for Innovation. Oh, missile turret kills the dropships, so only 2 Marines unload. Yeah, this might look a bit one-sided. Let's see, what are the Viking counts? 10 to 9. Yeah, there's just nothing really going in Dream's favor here, unfortunately, so this might just be a pretty clean mop-up here by Innovation. I think it's just kind of important for Dream just to obviously not take this game too much to heart and just kind of think about, alright, either I need to commit harder or I too need to match the expansion rate that Innovation is going. Let's see, what are the tank counts? Yeah, 3 more tanks, 25, 20 more Marines, more Vikings, more Medivacs. Yeah, Dream is in a lot of trouble. Now the nature of Terran versus Terran, the defensive power of the tanks is far more impactful than, say, the offensive power of tanks. Of course, tanks can be used offensively, but they're for zone control. But they're so slow to gain that zone that Innovation can't just simply walk in here. He will actually lose an army, and then we'll go back to a game that would stabilize a little bit. But Innovation, of course, with the extra base, and if we just look at the income right now, I mean, it's an entire 800 minerals a minute, 300 gas a minute, and that just adds up so quickly. 3-3 on the way here for Innovation. He does have the upgrade lead right now, 2-2 to 1-1. Even with the +1 attack on ground vehicles. How many is that? 5 Vikings to 4. This matchup seems to test players' patience. Absolutely. Yeah, you've definitely does punish aggressive players. Once it gets into the mid-game, should I say. The early game, absolutely. You can definitely be aggressive. But once you have, like, tank counts like this, no, you have to be very patient, very methodical. Dream, recognizing that he can't do too much. Well, rather, the Marines are not going to help too much on the defense. Might as well get them out on the map. And Innovation, of course, already kind of recognizing this and has Marines split to spot. Dream somehow finding a little spot in the dark to get through. And this is annoying. This will not stabilize the game, unfortunately for Dream. It's like I want to be positive. I want to say that Dream has a fighting chance, but unfortunately it's a bit dire for him. Oh, and even the Vikings gonna corner these medevacs. Oh. And that's the risk, of course, for sending dropships out on the other side of the map. Like, look at this. Look at this line of tanks. Innovation just strangling Dream out of this game. Is the best way I can kind of describe this. It's like a, for those of you who might be familiar with ultimate fighting, like it's like jiu-jitsu, you know. Innovation just has him in a hold right now, and it's not over right away, but it's just a matter of, like, Dream will eventually just tire out and the choke will get to him. Oh, this is a good move. Does pick off some tanks. But the upgrade advantage. 3-3 to 2-2, just about to kick in here for Innovation. There we are. And his Marines are just going to trade very effectively here. Dream does find an opening, but there are so many tanks back here. And you just see the Marines, against this many tanks, they just can't push. Oh, good snipe on the Raven. Starving Dream out of resources. Yeah, that's such an elegant way of putting it there, Red. So Dream inching forward, gonna take this base. He's just down a base. There's another command center being built here for innovation. Ah, there's a whole bunch actually. Innovation maxed. 200 population out of 200. So, yep, when you're maxed, you invest into more command centers, more production, upgrades. I mean, innovation just has all the advantages right now. And this is completely to his favor as well. Even if they were, say, even on bases and even on production, I would still favor innovation at this stage of the game. It just negates a lot of Dream's advantages because it favors, again, that patient, position-based, and production strength, priorities of this matchup at this stage of the game. I'm just trying to think, I mean, what can you do as Dream? He's already tried to do a drop and that unfortunately got shut down. It doesn't even have any medivacs, I don't think. Got 2. Oh, here they are. Like, only just enough to heal. You can't really lose medivacs right now. Especially with the Viking versus Viking war going on right now. Like, you're locked into making Vikings. Otherwise, if you fall behind, you lose your entire investment of Vikings. It would have been better off to not make any Vikings at all if you have less. Of course, I mean, Marines do have a part to play, but oh, big disables on the tanks. Oh my god, that's all the tanks being disabled here. They can't shoot back. So innovation, he's going to storm in on this. He's going to be able to win the fight. The anti-armor upgrade, that's why everything is red, taking bonus. Or their armor being completely negated. So both sides just shredding each other. And now innovation, he's got the position that he's been vying for the last 5 minutes, which is the ability to pressure a base that Dream is unable to defend. Dream unable to get a tank line in here because the tank line of innovation is already set up. Now it looks like Dream, he will kind of get a consolation prize here. He will pick off the other tanks. I mean, if we just look at the income right now, it's double in both minerals and gas. Innovation now taking what would traditionally be Dream's expansion. Oh, innovation could actually take this tank position and then drop units here. Oh, actually no, I guess the Vikings would punish the drop. Oh, let's find a little... Oh! Nearly finds a medivac. Alright, Dream going to expand here. I mean, it's just... I hate to be grim, but it's just a losing battle here for Dream. He's taking these trades, but innovation being so ahead in money right now, any trade is a good trade for him. He just wants to force the units to be... to kill each other over and over, and basically win by just making more units. It's a very simple, very effective strategy. Oh, this base even going to go down here for Dream. Oh, he does get the disables, but there's still, what was that, 6 tanks back there. Base goes down, GG will be called. Yeah, I think overall, Terran vs Terran is probably people's favorite mirror matchup, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm a Zerg main myself, and I still love watching Terran vs Terran. Maybe even sometimes more than Zerg vs Zerg. But I certainly have a soft spot for Zerg vs Zerg. I think it gets there's a lot going on there. I think it gets more criticism than it's due. But yeah, Terran is just it's fun to watch. I mean, and it's so explosive. It's so easy to throw away a lead, and that's why it's impressive that the patience of innovation to identify his lead and to not throw that away. It would be so easy to just attack into the Dream tank line and throw away all of his army, and all of a sudden Dream has initiative and he can go across the map. Put a lot of pressure on, get a lot of damage before, innovation could remake his units. But do you enjoy playing ZVZ though? Sometimes. Yeah, Yeah, there are a lot of ways to play ZVZ. I think on the surface, it just looks like Zergling versus Zergling, Roach versus Roach. But there's a lot of subtleties, I think, that make ZVZ quite interesting or fun to play. For example, if you're, I don't know, maybe Platinum rank or below, doing things like going Zergling speed into Zergling into Borrow with Baneley Nest is so much fun. Because you essentially have less Zerglings, and your opponent's like, you've got less Zerglings, I'm going to chase you. And then you lead them into some borrowed Banes. That's always fun. Not as good in the higher ranks, but good fun. Yep, both players good to go. Innovation just needed a moment there. You know, I just want to play TVT. It is definitely one of his better matchups. He's doing better in Terran vs Protoss lately. But like even as Terran vs Zerg, sometimes it's great, sometimes he just gets pushed out of the game. But his TVT is always scary. Alright. Jumping into into game number 4 here of this best of 7. In the top left, it is Innovation. And his opponent in the bottom right, in the red trunks, it is Dream. I do like that both players are picking the same color every time. Can make things a bit confusing. Cool, Lightshade. This is a more medium-sized map. I feel like it, yeah. Doesn't empower aggressive play too much, doesn't make it that safe to play greedy. This is middle of the road. His recent, Innovation's recent interview in GSL was trolly. I would like to see that. Sometimes I watch interviews, sometimes I don't. I enjoy watching interviews, and this might be because, like, being a Westerner myself, we love, I think, like, we love the underdog. We love people who are kind of up and coming, or people who are not favored to win. We love that kind of individualistic nature. So like watching Zaun's interview or Amani's interview, I always find those really fun, and they get kind of like very emotional, and you know, especially when they start talking about things like, oh, I wasn't doing very well, and I was thinking about retiring, but I managed to win this series, and all the things that they did to prepare, and a lot of times it comes down to dealing with their mental state or their emotional state more so than like saying like I practiced a lot, or I came up with some new strategies. Like, of course that does happen, but so for the Korean players, I feel like mechanically there's not that much that separates the players. I mean, obviously you have stylistic players, but mechanically they're all on a very similar level. So it comes down to like who's in the right headspace more than who's done the most practice. Obviously you have people like Bjorn, who's just like got calluses on his hands from just practicing more than everyone else. Cool. Opening's pretty standard here. Innovation actually expanding later. So I think Dream kind of, yeah, he's adjusting here. He's noticing that Innovation is so good on the defense that he's going to try now play greedy. And again, if you're being defensive, the way to beat that is to be greedy, is to expand your economy faster. Battlemara is saying, just wanted to say I really enjoy your commentary, man. Thanks, thank you. Thank you very much, that's a very nice compliment of you. Oh, jeez. Alright. Innovation gonna move across the map. Let's see. 3 Reapers to 1 Hellion to 1. Yeah, okay. This might get a bit tricky here for Dream. Of course he cut some corners to get this faster command center. But there's not much here. Looks like there'll probably be a couple of worker kills. He can always lift the command center. Yeah, actually all the workers might go down. Looks like Dream wants to cut off the escape. But yeah, a really good run by there for Innovation. Did he lose anything? No. There's only Marines here. The Reapers do trade better. And remember, they can get on low health and then heal. Whereas the Marines, they can't even run. Like, they have to hold their ground. This is an excellent start here for innovation. Now, the Cyclone is out, so Dream will hold this, but man, he's just taking so much damage. Thing about TVT, again, more so than the other matchups, the worker count is not nearly as impactful as the army count. Like, I think most of the time, if Terran had a choice, they would rather trade out workers and keep their army than the vice versa. Whereas, like, Zerg would rather trade out their army and keep their drones. I think with, like, what mules allow for Terran is the ability to keep their production still producing units, even if they fall behind in economy. Of course, Jack mules can be used to get lots of minerals to make more command centers to get even more mules, but typically they're used. They're the most effective when the Terran's on the back foot and applying a lot of pressure. Everything looking very similar here. Innovation actually going to drop down a third base. I remember when I was learning the game early on, going back to Wings of Liberty, and I remember some of the advice I got from one of my Grandmaster friends was whenever you defend, expand. I thought that was just such a great... I don't know if that's true now, it was definitely true in Wings of Liberty, but it's just such a great way of looking at it, because when you're learning the game, it's actually difficult to understand like times to expand that's not immediately part of a build order. But yeah, if you ever pressure your opponent where you get damage done, or you defend their aggression, it's completely safe for you to expand, and it ensures that you always maintain some kind of lead. Alright, now we do have... Ravens here do give a lot of potential for Dream's push, but the Vikings will make that pretty tricky. It will zone the Ravens out of a position that would allow them to get damage. This position here by Innovation is really, really strong. There's not really a position back here that would get Dream any kind of aggressive potential. Let's see. There's no... I feel like Dream's falling into this trap again. Now, to be fair, Innovation did get a lot of damage done early, but he's falling into this trap where he's falling behind in command centers and workers, but he's not having army to compensate for that. Like, it's okay to fall behind your base if you have a significant army lead, because then you can start to pressure and force bad trades out of your opponent. But Dream is just kind of matching Innovation in terms of army, so he's not... He doesn't have any lead that you would typically get for someone with a slower eco. It just feels like he's just slowly... Innovation is kind of edging him out by producing more stuff, which is what you would expect from Innovation. That's stylistically the way that he's been playing for in his entire competitive career. Oh, okay, yep, Dream's gonna come in here. Big auto turrets from both players. The siege up here from... there's more tanks for Innovation. He's got more damage output. He will actually clean this up. That's GG. I think Dream kind of recognized that he actually had to get damage done there, otherwise he just simply falls behind. So score will go 3-1 in Innovation's favor. We're going to have a quick little break here, guys. Sorry, I do need to run to the bathroom. So we'll just be 1 or 2 minutes. Sorry about this. Yeah, we'll be right back. Cool. Sorry about that, guys. When nature calls. Cool. So we're jumping into game number 5. It's going to be on Death Aura. So a bigger map. Again, it does favor innovation. Like going into this, I usually favor the aggressive player. But so far, Dream's aggression has just been negated by Innovation's macro. Alright, here we are, spawning in the bottom right hand corner in the blue trunks, it is Innovation. And the red player here in the top left, it is of course Dream. Who is currently the better Terran? Maru, Clem, Innovation, or Beyond? Out of those 4, I would probably say Maru. I think Maru overall is the most consistent. I would then probably say Beyond, Innovation, and then Clem. Yeah, I think TY is arguably one of the best Terrans. I think you could make a case for why TY is better than Maru. I think overall TY is probably more consistent than Maru. And he definitely, I think I can say without a doubt that TY does have the best Terran versus Terran. I did rate Bjorn as top 2 in that list of Maru, Clem, Innovation, and Bjorn. But I think Bjorn's TVT isn't as good. I would say Innovation has better TVT than Bjorn. I think Innovation is probably top 2, top 3 at least. But they're all very close, right? I mean, on a good day, any one of these players could be the best. Innovation win this? Yeah, it is looking pretty Innovation favored. Now that we've kind of seen this play out a little bit, it seems like Dream's aggression it's not finding any advantages against Innovation's play. So Innovation, just by simply expanding faster and holding the correct zones of control, Dream is just not able to find any damage, any pressure that he's investing into. Like you can't invest into a military and do no damage. Your opponent who invested in economy like Innovation is, just gets ahead by default. Looks like... Oh! Dream does get the Reaper kill, and as long as he keeps this Reaper out of range, it will heal, and it will cause quite a problem. There's only 1 Marine, so this Reaper can have an absolute field day. This is what I do mean about Dream, is that he... Oh! Very lucky there, Innovation. That could have been really bad for him. This is kind of what I mean about Dream, is like his micro is really good. He's got like, that makes his timing attack so strong. But so far, outside of like the first 5 minutes of the game, Dream hasn't been able to find a successful timing on Innovation. He hasn't been able to find a reliable way to deal damage to Innovation, who Innovation is investing into economy. You would think that the player who gets who expands quickly would be punished by a player who has been aggressive, but it just feels like Dream, he's just not able to get enough units on the field or be in the right place to actually find damage against Innovation. I mean, if anything, it's a testament to how solid of a player Innovation is. It's a testament to his ability to have the right units in the right place at the right time, while still getting ahead in production and economy. And it's such a simple thing. If you can do that every single game, I mean, that's so strong. How do you counter that? And that's partly why Innovation has been always considered one of the best Terrans. Always considered top 5, top 10, no matter the patch. He's just been so dominant for years. For that very reason, he's just like his style is one of the most difficult to punish. All right, we're gonna drop here by Innovation. There's nothing here. There is a tank about to pop and a Raven about to pop. Oh, he's not dropping. Big mistake there by Innovation. I guess that's kind of what I mean, is like, Innovation is not really known for having, like, excellent star sense or, like, explosive micro. He just does the right things most of the time. Like, he's not like Bjorn, where it's like, Bjorn's Marines can just do, they get more value than anyone else's Marines in the game. But I would expect if both players are even, as long as nothing crazy has happened, I would expect Innovation to have more Marines than Bjorn. I don't expect this to get too much damage here. Oh, good Cyclone flank. We'll actually pick off the medevac. And once that medevac is gone, these Marines will be forfeit, so great defense there by Dream. Very patient. He doesn't overcommit, he just waits until he's in the right position, and he just closes the noose on those units. And the third base is much faster for Dream this game. I'm liking this. This is a good adjustment by Dream. Now, it is kind of tricky. He's match point against Innovation. So he's going to win. He has to win the next, well, including this game, the next 3 games. He needs to win 3 in a row to take the series. And that's a tall order against Innovation. And Innovation, I mean, he has practiced some cheeses. He has practiced some aggressive play. He could just throw out an all-in, and he could lose. And he would still be ahead in the series. And that's terrifying. Who won game 1? Innovation did. And Dream won map 2. And then from there, Innovation won the next 2. Now this is scary. I mean, Innovation does have the Vikings, so we'll zone the Ravens out of Dream. But those Ravens out of Dream, they could potentially disable 2 of these tanks. I believe. I'm sure they have enough energy. Yeah. And that disable is enough to let Dream get in range and then siege up his own tanks to break a position. Little Marine Hellion cycle scuffle. Oh, yep, the Ravens are looking for a position. There we are, there are the disables. He's going to come in here. The tanks are actually very, very far back here for Dream, so he's probably just going to pull back very shortly. It's quite an investment for... that's not quite the damage he's looking for with that Raven energy. Because remember, that energy takes a long time to build up. So right now, these Ravens, they can't do anything. They're flying paperweights. But, I mean... it was a good trade for Dream. So I still like this. I mean, what, this base was landed sooner than Innovations was. Let's see, he's got the worker advantage. So we actually, yeah, this is looking good for Dream. Like right now, any trade is a good trade, and on top of that, that was a good trade. So a good trade while ahead in economy and production just means that the next time they fight, Dream is just going to have more. And that gives him options. He can hit in multiple places. He could either have his army in one big ball that has more damage output than, say, Innovations will. So, yeah, Dream even taking his 4th base on location, which means he'll have a slightly better economy faster. So, this is looking good for Dream. Let's see, what are the upgrades like, actually? 1-1 for Dream. He hasn't started 2-2 yet. There we go, +2 attack. We'll be starting +2 armor very shortly. So he's got the upgrade lead, he's got the base lead, and he has the army lead. So far, that's pretty much everything. And Innovation is forced on the defense, so he also has the map presence lead as well. So everything right now is in Dream's favor, but he's slowly losing that lead. I mean, Innovation, again, his ability to just produce units is almost second to none. Alright, Dream just poking. Looking for any kind of opening. I think overall he's been defensive. Yeah, he's got tanks at home. Do you have one in each base? No, just his outer bases. Okay, but he's got the sensor towers. I'm really liking this, by the way. It used to be kind of rare. that Marine Terrans would kind of spread units out for vision. I mean, some Terrans did do it, of course, but it's becoming way more common these days. I noticed like Bjorn was doing it a lot, Clem was doing it a lot. Actually, Clem was really good at it in the series that I casted of Bjorn versus Clem. Clem just always had like really good net vision. I think Dream could probably take a 5th base soon. I don't know if Innovation has the map presence to be able to do that. If Innovation tries to take a 5th base, he might just be stretching himself a bit thin. Because again, there's a huge army lead here for Dream. Look at the minimap too. Look how he's just splitting the map in half. And that just means that if Innovation moves out, then Dream can hit wherever Innovation has the least amount of units. Innovation's desperately trying to just... He's trying to get vision for himself by spreading these Marines out, but Dream's so on top of it that he's just killing them. He's finding them and just picking them off, and it just means that Innovation's sitting here bleeding units while he's behind on economy. Alright, both players... Actually, this is kind of funny. Look, both players dropping 2 more command centers almost in the same place. That's how you know both of these players are... Like, they're playing on the same server, they're playing in the same ladder, they're playing in tournaments. Like, they're definitely taking notes on each other. And that's what I think is so cool. I think as a concept, when you think about like why the Koreans have historically been so dominant, is that, you know, it's not just that the best player is in Korea. Like, the 2nd best player, and the 3rd best player, and the 4th best player. Maybe not the 5th, maybe not the 6th, but the 7th best, the 8th best, the 9th best. And they're all in the same place. They're all have their own tournaments. They have online tournaments. They have GSL. And they're practicing with each other to beat each other. So they're developing a meta that is just so advanced and beyond everyone else that it's taken almost a decade. Slightly less than a decade for the world to catch up. Now we do see Europe developed its own meta, and that's why Cyril was able to be one of the first non-Koreans to actually be a world champion. This is cool, by the way. I remember hearing a statistic early on in Wings of Liberty. I don't know if this is still true, but I think it was like unsieged tanks actually have one of the highest kind of kill counts in the Terran composition. I don't know if that's true. It probably isn't now. But basically, unsieged tanks are surprisingly strong. Don't underestimate a tank that isn't sieged. Cool. This is really cool. Like, both of these players have been so methodical. It's actually quite reminiscent of I think it was game 3, where Innovation just had a huge lead on Submarine, but he just stopped Dream from being able to expand and just slowly got more and more units out. Now it's a bigger map, so it's more difficult for Dream to strangle Innovation's ability to grow. Oh, okay, big stim up here. There are 3 tanks in total. 1 does get picked off. And all the Vikings have come back, so this should die. But this distraction has moved units away from this push here at the 5th base. And those disables, oh man, huge tank count for Dream. That base is going to go down extremely quickly, but there's a massive air advantage. What is that? 15 Vikings to 6. Alright, so Innovation has kind of hedged all of his bets on having more air units. And he's going to land all these Vikings. This will stabilize the siege tank count. But the entire air lead from Innovation gets completely reset. And what is that, 5 Ravens? How many Ravens? 5 for both players, okay. Cool, I think 5 is the right number. Never mind. You know, I look at the production tab, I'm like, wait a minute, there's 3 being built at a time for Innovation. I lie, there is no such thing as too many Ravens. Cool, wow, alright. Innovation with the supply lead. The things, let's see. Upgrades very similar. Worker count slightly hit for innovation. Base count even when this drops. But obviously it has to establish itself, whereas the space is being milled. What's the income like? Very similar. More gas for Dream, which is more relevant, by the way. The, what? Yeah. The gas is more impactful. Like, you'd rather have more tanks, more Vikings, more Ravens. The Marines are literally just to fill out supply. They're useful, they're good. You can get stuff done with Marines. In fact, Bjorn would argue that Marine is the best unit in the game. But typically for standard TVT, it's all about the gas. So whoever has the most gas typically has a stronger army. In fact, yeah, see, look, the gas value of these armies are very similar, and Dream has the advantage in both. He's got slightly bigger army, slightly less workers. So that means that this army is stronger. Whoa, big Shredder missile there. Big anti-armor. I believe it's called Shredder. What's the actual name of that spell? The anti-armor spell? For anyone in chat who knows. So little pokes going on here. Oh, it is just anti-armor missile, is it? Dorito cannon. Doritos. Oh, big disables. Alright, Dream gonna inch forward here. A Dorito cannon on both armies. Everything is orange. Is Innovation? Oh, Innovation's winning. All the tanks were disabled of Dream, and the Marines are gonna come forward. Oh my god. I swear, like, Dream, like, it was a great way to start the fight. But Innovation says, hold my beer. What's the Raven count now? 7-3. Oh my god. Crazy. I mean, Dream was in such a good position. He had such a lead, and now he's struggling to hold off this push. Innovation with the death zone. Look at this. This is like in between all of Dream's production. There's no way for him to get units in a good position to defend this. He's pulling workers. That will soak some of the tank pulleys. Ah, big auto turrets going down. They have so much DPS. It looks like there's just not enough here for Dream. He might just clean this up, but he's taken so much damage. 22 workers going down. Now there's a lot of bases, so that worker count will be quickly replenished. Let's see, production tab. Oh, he's just going to invest into army. Surely not. Oh, he just doesn't have the economy. Like, if this was a floating bank for Dream, like if he had, say, 5,000 minerals, then it would be an interesting choice for him to just not make workers and just sit on a low worker count and make lots of units. But here he doesn't have the choice. I mean, he doesn't have the economy to remake that worker count. Oh man, Innovation with the base lead now, army lead, worker lead, not the upgrade lead, mind you. Upgrade lead is in Dream's favor for now. Oh, what's the air armies? 10-5. Yeah, so Innovation has a huge air army lead. And that's where it matters. At this stage of the game, it's about the Vikings, the Ravens, and the siege tanks. Like, the Marines are they're just there to fill supply. They're just there to dump minerals. So the fact that Innovation has equal tanks and Ravens and Vikings, it's just a tough position for Dream to be in. Now, this is an excellent disable here on the tanks of Innovation. So Dream cleans that up. His army supply is very similar. Still down a base. So Dream needs to make more moves like this. That was definitely look, things were in the right way. Yeah, if he makes a bunch more plays like that, he can stabilize. But right now, Innovation does have the lead. And these are very bruised Marines too. How many of 2 medivacs? It's just these medivacs are going to run out NG. So Stims. Yeah, Stim's going to be in short supply for Innovation. Just to hurt your entire army for movement speed and damage, it's costly when you don't have much healing. There's another big Stim. Looks like he wants to try pick off some of these ravens. Can you show us the resources, the income? Yeah, so way more gas coming in here for innovation. And that's just allowing him to keep a high raven count, Viking count, and siege tank count. Oh, is there disables? Yeah, there we go, 5 disables. Now there's a lot of energy on these ravens for innovation. He will drop missile turrets, but he doesn't have any good places to drop them, in fact. So this gets completely wiped out. Now innovation has sent the majority of his army on a big counterattack. Looks like a big ball of marines. Oh, Dream's just gonna walk into this. Oh no, his reinforcements getting decimated. And Innovation has the high ground, so Dream cannot push into this. Innovation's going straight for the production. Oh my god, every unit that comes out here is just going to die to this amount of marines. There's so many Venovex to keep all of this alive. Oh my god, I think Innovation is just going to deal so much more damage to Dream than Dream is going to be able to dish out in response. Like, there's no tanks. Are there any factories? How many factories is... No factories. No tanks. There's no AoE being built on this side of the map here for Dream. Oh man, this might just be a killing blow. So decisive by Innovation. He's willing to give up his main army to go for... I mean, it's literally... It's go for throat is what the strategy is. If you lose your ability to produce units, you're as good as done for. And here we are, the follow-up push here for Innovation. He knows it. He smells blood in the water. He wants to close out this series. He wants to take the 4th map win. Man, I'm surprised. I genuinely thought at the start of the series that it was going to be much closer than this, but yeah, well played there by Innovation. Well played. Innovation did more with less units.